What's going on, everybody? My name is Danny Ferrari.
My name is Parker Ament.
And we are Excellent Sound, and we are here at the Excellent Show, the production segment with our very, very good friend, it's Murph, Garrett Murphy. Murph, also formerly known as Garrett Murphy, also Murph, but mostly known as It's Murph.
Prepare to get Murphed.
We just got a fucking amazing podcast conversation with our boy in partnership with SoundCloud. So shout out them for partnering with us with that podcast. And you're going to go over some of your production techniques. Now, you and I used to work together,
Sure
so
did.
I'm excited to learn from you
Oh,
as far as
boy.
what you've been doing, what you've been up to.
Okay.
You've got tons of hits. You're fucking a rocket ship right now on the charts of TikTok, SoundCloud, and Spotify. We're stoked to learn from you, bro. Let's talk about what you've been doing.
Man, that's crazy that you're saying you stoked to learn from me when I learned from you.
No, bro.
I'll tell you what I've learned.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
I'll tell you what how the circle has spun up to this point.
What do you feel like? Was there a moment where like it just like kind of clicked, or did you feel like it was a slow progression as far as like your production, as far as your skill gain?
I feel like it was a moment that just clicked.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
just like one song came out, you're like, oh, I'm kind of getting good. Like, was it that?
Kind of. It was just when I kept making bad music, and you finally get that good one, you're like, okay, I understand what's now working. You just have to make enough bad music until you understand like the techniques to make something sound good. Also, it's helpful when you work with other people and you see the way that they're like mixing their stuff. When you and I are working together, and I learned like simple, basic techniques that I
Right.
use over and over again. And all the best producers use the same techniques over and over
Yep.
again. You know,
Yeah.
dance music is a push and pull of energy, and it's hard. That's why I think the best producers in the game are dance music producers, because it's hard to create energy like out of nowhere, right? And you're using like techniques that are used over and over again. But yeah, for me, I think it clicked. And then once that, and I still make bad music all the time, but I have a fundamental understanding of what I think I need to do to make the song reach its full potential.
Right.
And I
do
think
you-
that's important.
Do you with certain ones that you call like stinkers or whatever? What did you call? Where did you called it something? You're like, let's make some. Do you have any stinker ideas or something?
So let's make something stinky.
Yeah. So like, do you have a point where you're like, okay, this thing is not gonna be what I think
all
it
the
is,
time.
and you let it go,
I just
or
let
do
it
you?
go.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're a sketch. You're fine with sketching.
I'm down. That's how I work.
Right.
Because I've been in so many situations where for example, sometimes I'll be with artists or something, and because they were in the session with the vocalist, and they're like pushing me, like, please send it bounce, please send it bounce. I'm like, if I don't see the vision for it, like I've tried, you know what I mean? I'm trying to produce around it, like, but it's just not, I could spend like 1,000 hours on it and it's not going to go anywhere. And so when I'm sketching, usually I'm making songs, I'm sketching until I find that one thing. I'm like, I see it, I hear this is the lead we're going with. I can produce the whole song around it.
Right.
Like Food for the Soul, those were the chords. Down Low, it was the vocal. And then every song is different. My Love, it was the saw that we remade, right? I could hear how I was going to do it in the drop. And I have because once you get in that flow state and you're just trying to get to the next thing and over again. But when you're with like a song, you don't know what to do and you've tried. First, you got to try and you got to throw shit at the wall, right?
Yeah.
When you keep trying and it's not going anywhere, then you're just like, I don't know. I'm not trying to get to the next step. I'm just like stuck in this shitty moment. You know?
Right. But you have to have a lot of high output, though, I would imagine, like to get some bangers if
You
you're going
do.
through stinkers. Like how many songs do you produce? Like you think, like what's your
Depends.
average?
When I was usually December, January, February are really my months to lock in. And I was doing like 12-hour days for like 3 or 4 weeks straight. And I think I got like 2 or 3 songs out of that.
And it's just one, but I'm saying, like, are you doing like
the
one
sketch
song
ideas
throughout the 12 hours, or like if you find once you find the one that you like,
Yeah,
you're like, all right,
I'll try to
finish
flush it out. And sometimes I'll do sessions and I'll have like a bunch of sketches, and then usually from those sketches, like if I have like 5 sessions, right, I'll be like, okay, this is the one I know how to do, right?
Right.
This is the one I know how to finish. The other ones, I'm like, sometimes I just let them go.
Yeah, I
And
think
then
it's
sometimes I
important.
come back full circle.
Yeah,
Like I came back, the song I released recently, Through My System, was the first sketch I did with Arlo and Emi Grace. And Arlo and I worked together a few times after that few sessions, and we had songs that we had finished after it. And we came back and we're like, wow, this one's really cool. But sometimes when you're working the moment and you record vocals for 5 hours and you write the chords, you don't want to burn yourself out on it sometimes. Like if you're forcing yourself to work on it, it's not going to come out like the best way. You got to like enjoy the process. And that's like what I was talking about. And we were talking about the interviews when I originally had some success in the songs, I was like, I need to make another hit. And you're not enjoying the sessions at that point.
Right.
You're stressed out. You're trying to guide something to sound like something else. You're chasing success, as Skrillex would say it.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did he say? Success is not something. It's something that you
attract. It's
attract.
not something you
Yeah.
chase.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good advice.
Yeah,
So
me
you
too.
so this is a remix that you're doing of Flume. Which song?
Never Be Like You.
Never Be Like You. Love it. Kai on the vocals.
Yeah, it's
So
an
great.
unbelievable song.
I'm
Dude.
really excited to see this breakdown. This is one of my favorite one of your remixes.
Oh, thank you.
One of
it
my
came together
faves,
pretty
dude.
fast. Yeah.
What I would do to take away this fear of being loved.
Little
Yeah.
Murph pad.
Oh yeah, dude.
And then I got the
Murph
automation.
pad. Love it.
I think for this one, it's only. Oh wait, I definitely do. Sky keys. Yeah, I'm doing the just like auto filter, low pass.
Yeah,
and it
your
starts to open.
transitions are really nice.
It's from the resampling on all of this stuff. Like these are the chords being resampled, right?
Reverb throws.
Yeah. From the chords though. New pad this
Oh.
time.
Oh, I love that.
New chord here too.
Almost sounds like a key change, but I know it's just the portamento.
The key change does happen in the, or a chord change.
Ooh. A little stop. What a groove.
I'll skip forward a little bit. I think that the first and second drop are pretty similar, just a little variations of it. Also, this is the unmixed and mastered, so I have the VSTs on it, just so we
Awesome.
know that.
Great.
I wanted the full MIDI and everything in here before all this audio.
Oh. Very creative the way you did this part.
Thank you. I think the sub bass drops out, like right here, a little Reese. Drops out here. A little fake out with the chords here.
Yes,
little
dude.
sub riser into it.
You're sick, bro. You are. You're legit.
Don't glaze me. Don't glaze
Yeah,
me.
you're sick, bro.
You're lying, bro. You're lying. This one came together pretty well. That's the Danny Ferrari technique right
There
there.
it is, bro. Where's my points?
Where are my points?
Yeah, I know,
Flume,
shoot.
clear it.
Yeah, that's it.
Shit. If you get this cleared, I'll give you a point. Okay, now I'm going back to the original chords. So this is in the actual song. And the actual song was at like 116 BPM. Is it bad to talk over the song?
No, it's
Or
fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the volume's good to where people can hear us talking. So.
A little resample, like for the crash, right? Let's go in the
Nice little
vocals here for
vocal
a second.
ad-lib right there.
Never be like you. So yeah, I'm just taking some highs out there, and it'll come back down at the end. Oh, it's all the way out right now, actually. Yeah. I had to do some surgery on this vocal because it's ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Just wonder what that was. There you go.
Give me that bass, baby. Let's go.
Manually swung to
Yeah. I want to talk to you about that.
high layer. Yeah, this is the raw, like before we dove into mixing mastering. It's about as close as it got before the mixing stage.
Beautiful, bro.
Yeah, and then it goes into like a little like extended for the DJs.
for the DJs.
Yeah.
Dude, I got so many questions for you. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Yes, you
hit
may.
it. Okay.
How did you mute your chords in that first drop? Because
it's so
the
interesting.
rhythms were really, really cool.
Oh, in the first
and like, yeah.
This is the first chord here.
Oh, vocodes.
And I'm setting it to itself. Arlo taught me that. And so it's not even stuttering, it's MIDI.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a weird rhythm.
But then a lot of times after I do the MIDI nowadays is Arlo also, he bounces everything from MIDI to audio, and I went through and manually moved it and stuff.
Look at that.
Because otherwise you're trying so hard to get it there, and once it's in audio, you can fade it, you can get it exactly how you want it.
So
Also-
you really went in there and you manually dialed in all of
Everything.
the stutters.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say also MIDI has can have latency sometimes too. So if you put it in audio, you can be in complete control.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
some of those notes, even though they're on the grid, they might be just like a little bit off because it's just playing back. It's saying, oh, play the sound, versus printing it. Then you can actually put it exactly where you want it.
This is
Sorry, go ahead.
this is without the vocoder.
The
It makes it like
texture.
lo-fi.
Cleaned
Yeah.
it up a lot too.
Yeah, it's getting compressed really hard. I think there's just a little bit of reverb on here, and then some wide noise. So it's
Yep.
it just brings down the mix a lot. So that was the one layer. I think this is the second layer here. I don't even know what this one was. Let's see.
It's like a basic in it with some erosion. Oh no.
It's Murph Child. Oh hell yeah!
Hell yeah,
I even got that one
dude.
named.
Let's go.
Pretty
It's
simple.
a really, really nice layer, man. It
But
really is.
for example, these are basic shapes right here. Just
Yeah.
obviously I don't usually do sine wave more than one voice. I
Mhm.
don't know. I just keep it in one. And then for this one, it looks like. Let me just watch this. What happens? I think it's envelope 2. I'm trying to figure out where that's on drop 2. Okay. On drop 2, it goes. It has this little moment where. It's like the release. I'm automating the release a little bit to go bum ba da da da
okay.
dun 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 dun, and then I just bounce it out and get it right from there. Yeah, those are the first 2 MIDI chords.
Yeah, it's really cool that you did it with audio instead of a plugin, because a lot of people use like Transgate or some sort of like choppy thing, and it's just normal chords just
Yeah.
played.
But also with doing the Transgate is it's going to do the same pattern over and over again.
Yeah.
So you can really dial it in audio. This is something I've been doing as of December of 2024.
Nice.
It's new, and I like it a lot. Like I pitch,
It's clean, bro.
I pitch like some of these are manually pitched up plus 12. You can hear it's like ba da 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 da,
Yeah.
and even in the third drop as well. Those are those chords.
There's a lot of like future-based vibe too, which is great. Like old Oshi.
Almost warm
vibes,
synths in like a
yeah.
housey setting.
Yeah.
Upbeat driving, and that's why this song came together so well. Is because it Never Be Like You original. It's such a good song.
Yeah.
I like that's like I really feel like that is like a defining element of your sound is sort of like a more future sounds, but with more sort of like housey and tech. You know what I'm
Especially
saying?
the low end.
Yeah.
I like low end more tech bass with the warm synths with more housey drums. That's the best way to describe it.
One thing I wanted to say that I remember back from our lessons was particular about you versus a lot of other students that we've dealt with is like you actually like really listened to like things that I would tell you to do. Like I remember I would tell you to do something and then you would implement it in your next song. Like you would try, even if it was like, it would be like something like, oh, like Garrett, use an auto filter to automate the lows to come in, or I remember you were big into respaces. We would talk about respaces a lot too. And I remember you were able to like sort of take ideas and then learn. So I'm imagining you must be learning so much from the friends that you've been making as far as along your journey.
100%.
One thing that I really wanted to point out that's my favorite part about this track is the balls that you had to go into like trying to create a really sort of like off rhythm groove with the chords, but it feels right. Like it feels really good. So you somehow were able to, because it's like, so I feel like that like deserves a lot of credit, because when you're trying to do an idea like that's really difficult, man. Did that take you a long time to nail that groove, to get it to be perfect how you wanted it?
Even the first few times it wasn't right. I had to keep dialing it back in. Even here I'm like deleting. I think if I pull this back out, it's probably more MIDI. Yeah. Going through in the MIDI, I'm deleting stuff and going back in and moving it. I'm manually swinging some of the MIDI, I'm sure of. Yeah, see, like this is not even close to on the offbeat, right?
Right.
It's like really, really swung. And sometimes I'll use the Ableton like swings.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it like this, I like to do it a lot of times just by hand. because then the entire thing swung, and I don't know exactly what it's swinging it to.
Right.
You know, until I print it to audio and I can see what's been moved where. But this time I know it's exactly in the groove. And the best way to do it for this, I'm doing this offbeat stuff, is this bass. It just mimics the chords. And so it makes it feel, so when you bring this bass in with the drums, right? It doesn't feel that offbeat, right?
Right, no.
And so then you bring in the chords to I think I did the chords first.
Yeah, those stops that you're using are so good too.
That's like my specialty. I'm such a fills person.
Yeah.
Like, but not in like a crazy bring in a lot of things, drop things out.
So you're saying that is the bass following the exact placement of the MIDI as far as groove? Okay, so but it is interesting because it does sound a little bit more in the pocket.
The bass line might be a little bit more simple than some of the double ups in the chords.
Yeah.
But it's when the chords are hitting, when the bass is hitting, there's probably a chord hitting on top of it.
What are you using for the bass? Yeah.
Yeah, the bass sounds really good.
This is just, I think Arlo gave me this bass a while ago. It's just a sub. Saw wave. Look how simple that is. No wave. It's all one wave.
Yep.
It has a sub that's -2, and this has like a little bit of a knock on it. So let's see if I can put it into MIDI for a second and put this on.
He's got a little pitch modulation too on the coarse pitch.
Yeah, it does. Let's go to the matrix. You can see where everything's been going on coarse pitch LFO1. So just like quick. You do that a lot. You guys do that a lot because it gives it that knock.
It's a really like round, really
that's
nice
what I was gonna say.
And like warm. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's comfortable sounding when you hear it. It's not like whoa sub bass or like.
But it cuts through
bass.
too really well.
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of sub basses, it's hard. They get lost. Looks like it's getting boosted too in that little section here, and just the little EQ boost here.
Hey everyone, we are super excited to let you guys know that we finally have launched our YouTube membership page. You guys can now join the Excellent Sound YouTube page as a member and get tons of awesome perks, like exclusive content for your eyes only, as well as access into our guest project files, extra sounds, extra footage, and get your questions answered directly from the pros. You'll also get some extra perks like badges, emotes, and priority comments and chat. But that's not it, and we've saved the best for last. We are gonna match your membership price with a monthly coupon to the Excellent Sound store, which makes your membership essentially free. You can use this coupon for serum presets, samples, project files, and even lessons. Becoming a YouTube member really helps out our channel and allows us to bring in more awesome content from our guests and from us. We have a few different price point tiers and each one is better than the next. So click the link in the description and join our membership now, and let's build this community to be something bigger than we've ever dreamed of. Like maybe like getting Skrillex. I don't know, we'll try to get Skrillex. We get bigger. I feel like he might come on. That might help. Let's try to get Skrillex. I love too that there's I've been noticing there's like you're keeping it so simple with the processing too. You're allowing yourself to be techie, like in the actual like programming of some of the parts, like with the MIDI and the drop, but at the same time you're allowing yourself to be simple. And I feel like that's sometimes like harder. So how do you stop yourself from like overproducing certain stuff?
Oh,
because I know you like to produce. Because I know you can. Like I know you can go hard.
But I would rather not overproduce.
Of course.
You know, like it's from the drums and stuff. If I click on some of these, every single drum in here, look at that. It has nothing on it.
Yeah.
Right. And then the drum processing does. And it's for drums for me. It's very like sample based. You don't need to go in and EQ each hi-hat. If you do, it probably shouldn't be in there. You know, like it's gonna have some. You're really ducking like certain elements. And sure, you can get that in the mixing stage. But if you can get it sounding good here. Then on this part, on just the hats, so for these, if I just command solo that, I have, what EQ is happening here? Just a little low cut, don't want the lows to add up, and just crew cut. This is Marius from Twin Diplomacy has been using this a lot.
What is this? This is interesting. This is saturator?
It's saturator, yeah. It's just a built-in Ableton
It's the new one.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it too.
And you just gotta, just a little bit of dry, it brings out a lot. It's being filtered right now, but.
And so simple.
It's a lot of really good sample choice.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You got the ear for that, for sure.
That's really what it comes down to, is what you're saying, is like pick the right samples, pick the right sounds.
And also the drum groove is also the most important in house. Like if your drums aren't swinging, then like if I built this up, the amount of hats I even have in here, so let's just bring the kick. I have the main kick here, which is just pretty subby. I have kick tight on it, which I learned from you guys.
Yeah.
And that'll help. I think I'm using it to tune the kick.
Right.
And a little bit EQ. I don't want to unfreeze stuff because it'll start lagging.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's the top kick. So let's go right. Where's the drop? Let's just do this little piece right here. So there's one hat, two hats, 3 hats. Off shaker means a lot, like is the best in house.
It's the shuffle.
And then this one I have a little perk loop. But I think I went in there and pushed the beat transient for, oh no I didn't. But I do that a lot.
Yeah, the little cut.
Oh
the
no, I
gate.
definitely did, but I resampled the whole thing.
Yeah.
A big
Nice.
trick I do is that you guys taught me way back when. You put this thing in beats, you push the beat. I can't do it because it's frozen, and you bring it down, and the transients just
Kind of
snap.
gates it or something.
Yeah, it almost makes them like narrow. They don't.
Yeah.
All the reverb, all the tails just get cut. It's like a transient shaper. It's exactly what it is. And then there's 2 here. More hats. Oh my god, how many
A
hats? do I
lot
have?
of hat layers of the open
1
hat.
clap, 2 claps, a little more high end, low end. That's like the drum loop as a whole right there.
The shaker really. Yeah, turn off the shaker. I'm curious because that is the.
Oh right, the offbeat one.
Yeah, the
Where is that
shuffle.
one here? It's a lot more straight.
Yeah. Like that shaker does the groove.
But I go into manually
And-
with the shaker and I drag it off and I use it from one of the hats every time. I take the tail end of my like main driving hat and I'll take it from here. I'll copy it to a new one and I'll just fade it on either side and I'll use that as my off shaker.
Oh, that's a really cool little
that's
trick. So you
nice.
make a shaker out of
Out of
your
your
open
own
hi-hat.
You-
Ah,
'cause
nice.
it's something that has a nice tail. You just drag it on.
Yeah. Because
Also-
all it is white noise at the end of the day anyway.
Yeah.
That's a great nug, dude.
Yeah.
You just dropped one.
You just
Little
dropped a fat
nug,
nug,
little
bro.
nug.
Smacker.
I didn't know you like to get fucking high,
Yeah,
dude. I didn't know
not-
you smoked that shit up.
Oh, I knew, dude. I knew Murphy was
Sue
getting
me.
murphed.
And then
you always-
sometimes go ahead.
Do you always use like? Is it always like an open like your offbeat is usually a shaker? Do you ever use like a closed hat ever or like a rim? Because I know like I've used rims before.
Yeah, I
for,
use
like-
rims in a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Like rims are usually what I use for perks offs, but that's in the perk loop here.
Got it.
And so I just didn't even need it. When I dragged it, I was like, oh, it sounds really good. I'm not even going to mess with it. Sometimes I'll drag perk loops in just to cut out my favorite sound out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just sometimes the perk loop can be a lot. You know, it makes
Yeah.
it sometimes tribal a little bit or too afro-y in a house setting. It takes up a lot of space when the perk loop's really, really cranking.
Yeah, I like doing that too. I sometimes like I'll find like a loop and I'll throw it in there. I might even put it in the wrong spot. But sometimes there's like
Yeah,
a
putting the
groove
wrong
that
spot could be
happens.
great.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, there's like a little groove here. Let me just like keep that little portion
Yep.
and help myself write the drums. And you were saying
Exactly.
earlier in the podcast section about how you're like you rarely use loops. Like you're taking the time to build a lot of your drums. I mean, that must take you a lot of time in the production
I think it
phase.
helps the mix a lot though too, because then you're gelling all the individual elements. When you're throwing a loop in, it's almost like you're placing it on top of the rest of the track.
Yeah.
Which when you're building all of these like different elements, like I'm panning them a little bit, the hats a little bit left and right, they end up gelling really well and feeling a lot more cohesive than just dragging in a loop on top.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of rides too, like this ride, a little nug of knowledge.
Oh.
I go into here. Oh, I resampled it, but if you listen to this, it pitches up like a little bit.
Ah.
I resample almost all my songs, the ride, especially to end phrases. Not here, but oh yeah, it does a little bit. But a lot of times I pitch them up plus 12 at the end of phrases, and it starts. You can feel it without it being like a rise
Oh,
or anything. It
interesting.
feels like a transition's coming.
That's awesome. That's like what Night Punk does with his snares, kind of. He
yeah.
pitches like the last couple of them.
Did you learn that trick, or is that just something you just started
Yeah, I
doing
just
as like a
started
Murph
doing it.
thing?
Yeah,
It's
I
really
just started
cool.
Oh,
doing it.
I love that. See, if you find just like a little, that's such a simple thing that
Yeah.
you're like, I'm gonna do this. This is my thing.
Yeah.
Just simple. Maybe people don't even know that it's
You'll
there.
never hear it.
Yeah.
You'll never
But
hear
it's
it.
your thing that you
I
do.
hear it.
Yeah.
I'm like, there it is. There it
That's
goes.
sick.
Sometimes too, I'll put 16th hats down, and then I'll kickstart it on 1/4. So this hat loop originally was going, but it adds this little like.
Ah.
I just throw a fat kickstart on it, and then it just like if I
Oh,
can
nice.
I can unfreeze this for a second.
Yeah, I do that sometimes too, where I let the kickstart kind of help the groove a little bit. Yeah. Because it's still there. It's still there.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
it's still there a tiny bit sometimes, and obviously you have the dry wet of it, but
I think that was from Splice. Honestly, this little loop. I
Are
like
you
Splice.
using Kickstart to sidechain for everything?
Most of the time. I have
Nice.
a couple projects I worked with Arlo, and we did Shaper Box as
Yeah.
a MIDI trigger send, and let me tell you, we went down a nightmare of a road because when you can't bounce stems, you can't just go Command Shift R and then what is it?
Selected tracks.
Select all individual tracks when you're bouncing stems because like I said, I like to get it mastered from somebody else. And so the problem is if you go through and export each stem individually through the Shaper Box, which is what you need to do to have the full control for a stem mix and master.
yeah.
It's not. Think about it like if you have a group of all of your drums, right? They're getting compressed by this group as a unit.
Yeah.
So when you're doing one at a time, it's not getting processed.
same thing.
It doesn't feel the same.
Ah.
Oh, and then when you put all
So
the
what do you
stems back
do?
together,
You
That's
can't
a
just give
great
them the
question.
group.
So I would. It was such a nightmare.
I hate shit like that. Why can't we bounce it? Why can't we
Shaper
bounce
Box is
it? With,
canceled.
It's canceled.
you could send
actually
you
canceled.
could send it to instead of doing. Wait, could you just send it to? Because I know that a lot of people do this. Like when we're working with Jaws, he would send everything to a sidechain group.
That's what we were doing.
So no, not to a group. Sorry, to an actual track.
That's what we were doing.
Oh, so that's what you were
Yeah.
doing
So-
as a workaround, or
No, as just how
Oh,
we were
so
working.
it wasn't the sidechain wasn't on the actual.
So the
group.
shaper box would be on each group, how we want that group to
Right.
be sidechained, and then that group would get sent to just the ghost trigger sidechain. So like we'd have it being triggered, and it's the same trigger on each going into each one. It was the most frustrating process of music because it's not even like you're having fun making music.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get your sound out like of what you made.
That would
It
suck.
was the worst. It took me like 4 days. With Arlo, we had the one song called Weightless, or was it Feel It in My? I don't know. One of our songs we made. And it took all the fun out of it. We were spending hours and hours, and you'd get to the end, and you'd be like, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, you turn into a hacker, and then you lose the vibe, and then the vibe gets you all messed up, and you start hearing things that aren't there. Dude,
You start hearing things that's not there.
yeah.
And the way that we figured it out is the waveform was like a little bit different. And I was trying to, like, when the
yeah.
first time we ever did it, he's like, no, it's the same. And I was like, look at the waveform. It's in the exact same spot, but it's shaped a little bit differently.
Oh, man.
And I was like, I'm telling you, it's like, is this placebo? Is it not? And it turned
Yeah,
out not to
dude.
be placebo.
So many producers can relate to this same shit, bro.
Yeah,
So
dude.
this is for
It's
sure.
like when you tweak a song, like a sound for an hour, and you realize
Yeah.
that the EQ's been off the entire
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah. Or you've been working on the wrong sound too.
Yeah,
I've done that. You give like a duplicate.
You're like, all right, that sounds good. Nothing's
Especially for a
changed.
remake, I've done that before. Where I'm like just tweaking it, and I'm like, yeah, this sounds good. Or I realize that the duplicate is also on too. I've done that before, where I've been
Oh,
tweaking
yeah,
the sound,
that's
and,
the
and it's
worst.
already on. Like, cause I'll duplicate a track sometimes when I'm doing a remake.
yeah.
I'll be like, oh, this is a good
And
version.
they're both are on.
And they're both
Yeah,
on. I'm
yeah.
like, fuck,
Yeah.
man.
That's so funny.
Yep.
All right, so you had a lot of questions too about that you wanted to bring up, but I was kind of curious too. The way that your generation seems to be working, I want to say, is your generation of producers. Have you noticed this? It seems like a lot of them are doing a lot of less mixing and less mastering. And I don't know if this is like, I'm just saying this, but I'm basically basing this off of you and Viper Active, so that's 2 people.
Okay.
But it just feels like your generation of producers are not are okay with like not having to cut every single low. Like
Yeah,
you
I don't
I know
care.
you cut it on the group, right? But like in my mind, I'm like, we know you need to cut every single
yeah.
track, and then you got to cut it again on the group, and then if you had a saturator, you got to cut it again, right? But I've noticed like this I don't know if I say younger generation of producers, it's like that shit doesn't matter to them, and it shit sounds good
That's my thing. It's like I used to go through it on EQ, and I'd cut the low on every single track.
because that's what I taught you to do. I think yeah.
But now I like just produce, and if I hear it, and I'm like, okay. But sometimes it like adds some, I don't know,
Yeah.
body to the song.
No, you're
And if
totally
I'm not,
right.
and if it sounds okay, I'm not gonna fight it. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, this sounds great, and it saves time too.
You know what's interesting too is that I think with what you're saying, Danny, is Julian and Garrett, you guys think about the song when you're producing, kind of more from like a songwriter's perspective,
Yeah.
instead of like a production like tech dude. So like if it serves the song, then that's what you're gonna do.
I break
And it
so many
doesn't-
rules.
Doesn't even matter
Yeah.
what you really
Yeah.
do as long as the song is being served.
I think
right?
that comes from me being a little bit like self-taught. You're the only
Yeah.
mentor I ever had for like for the bit we worked together, and from that, it's like I've just learned from my own ways, and if it works, it works. You
Yeah,
know?
dude. It's
I-
funny
like-
because it really does. At the end of the day, it really doesn't. Like I'm always preaching like break the rules, and here I am without realizing it, making my own rules. You know what I'm saying?
Little
It's
bit.
like in my
I get it.
mind, I'm like, oh no, you need to cut
Your
every
shit sounds good. So
no,
you're-
it
yeah,
does, right? So that
so-
works for me too. But I would like to
Yeah.
implement some of the stuff that I'm learning from you or from these younger producers, because I think they have a point there. I mean, Dylan Francis is not a younger producer, but when he showed his track, and he fucking, we talk shit about this all the time, but like when he showed his track with Skrillex, it was like there was no like EQ, like there was none of it, like and with DJ Snake too. It was like, and I was like, oh dude, you don't cut your lows, and he's like, no, bro. And he got all like embarrassed and shit. And then it's
Sounds
like,
fucking
I'm like,
great.
bro,
It's
you're
Get
fucking
Low.
Dylan Francis, dude. Like your shit sounds better than like 90%
yeah,
of
it sounds so
anybody,
good.
dude. Your shit sounds so good. So it's just funny how like we all end up doing our own habits, and sometimes that's kind of a bad thing. Sorry, you were gonna say something, and I
don't really know what I was gonna say. I can get into some of like the vocal stuff that I do a lot in my production, and this is something that everybody does, or I think a lot of people do. Is if you're like a newer producer, I don't know. This is such a basic nug of knowledge, but like,
drop it on them, dude.
So you can hear like the RX that's really cutting out all the noise and stuff in that vocal. And that's one of those things, you'd probably listen to this vocal on its own, right?
Yeah, it sounds
and
like it's sidechain.
it sounds not good, right?
Yeah.
But in the context of the song, you can't even tell.
Oh, it sounds great in the song.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's like one of those things where it's the same thing. You're like, oh, the EQ is not right on that. But I was like, fuck, it sounds good. I'm just gonna rock it. I can't hear the noticeable differences because those pads are taking up where it's lacking.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, your pads are it's not
they're fighting
lossless.
for a lot of room already, you know.
I have a question for you, man.
Go for it.
With these vocals and this whole remix, what were you gonna say?
Oh, you said it might have helped it. I said it might have.
Oh, what I was gonna say is when you started this remix, did you start it with the vocal?
Yeah.
And you built the song around the vocal?
The vocal and chords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, because that's great. Because some people like they produce in a certain key and then they throw the vocal on and see if it works.
Sometimes I do that.
You know.
Sometimes I do that.
Nice.
I did that for the Empire of the Sun remix.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We
And it
started
just
with the
fit,
chord
like,
thing,
perfectly?
and we knew what key of the song we're in, and then I went on my record box and scrolled through what songs are in that key in the Empire of the Sun one, and then I went and found the vocal, and then I dropped it in.
Oh, and it was something special.
But then like that was like 50% of the way into the project.
Yeah.
So then we were able to build it and gel. It's not like the final project was here, and then we're dragging it on top, because then it wouldn't really fit. Right?
Totally.
Wait, let me just make sure I understood that. So you're saying that you already had a bunch of IDs that you were working on, and you had them in record box, and then you grabbed an acapella.
No.
And you found the key of the song. Oh, did I misunderstand that?
Yeah.
So for this song, I knew it was in, what key is this in? I can't remember. Let's just say, for example, I think, actually, let me see. What chords are we at?
God, you should work with Kai.
F sharp minor or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, for the Empire of the Sun one, it was a different key. And I was like, let's just say it was in C major, right? Okay. I went into my record box and I go, what songs do I like in C major?
Oh, okay.
And I go, it was an Empire of the Sun remix. And I just go, oh, great. Let me go see if this vocal's available. I think this might work. And it did.
Ah, okay.
But that was the only time I've ever done it that way, to be honest.
No, that's a smart.
That's why there's something special
like
about it, you know?
Yeah. There's no right way to do it. I like this Reese a lot. One thing I've been using a lot on my Reese's are putting an auto pan on the Reese.
Oh, interesting.
Let's see if I can unfreeze it. Where is it on? Let's hear. Here. So. Nope, that's the kickstart mix one. Show automation.
The intro.
Was that it?
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah. You add some movement. I do it a lot on my songs.
Oh, cool.
As a recent, like a 1/8, and I do kickstart as well.
I like that.
Oh, it feels really good, man.
I do that a lot on crashes now too.
Really?
On crashes, I throw the auto pan. It goes like instead. If I can, we go way down here.
Is this something you learned from somebody, or is this something that you just? Okay, cool.
Yep. Where's the crash that does it? Maybe it's on a group. Oh, here we go. On the chord reverses, it looks like it's doing it too. That's just a normal auto pan though. I don't know. I could go through and find them, but it might. Oh, here we go. Auto pan. Yeah. See this? Watch this.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just small little things, right?
Yeah, it all adds up, bro. The undercarriage. It's all the what do we call it? It's all like the spices on top. You know what I mean? The seasoning.
But I was gonna say earlier is the one thing that I do in every single one of my songs, and it doesn't matter for any transition. A lot of the times, I use OTT and reverb. I resample this chord into its audio. I throw that on it. I resample it. I use it as a reverse in a crash almost all the time. Coming into vocals, coming into chords, anything.
And are you like? I think there's a lot of ways of doing that. Like, are you doing 100% reverb and a long decay? Like, what's your? Actually, will you show people that? Actually, that's kind of a trick that a lot of people. I think a lot of people sleep on this thing a lot, but a lot of people do it differently. Like sometimes they might do 100% reverb. Maybe they don't do any OTT. So yeah, just curious.
Okay, I just flattened this audio just so I can see it. So I could take the first chord. I think it comes with a little bit of a pitch bend. So I'm gonna get this little part that doesn't have the pitch bend right here. Oh, this is a little laggy. This project's getting big now that I'm unfreezing stuff. So I take a little piece, then I'll just So I don't even resample. I just flatten the track. I go OTT, the Ableton stock. I've tried the other one. Doesn't sound as good. Reverb. Sometimes I'll do like delays and stuff in here, and like I go crazy with. And that's a lot of my. Sometimes in like down low, for example, on the one of the drop, it's a vocal chop. It's like yeah, and it works as like big impacts and stuff instead of crashes.
Okay.
So you can get really creative. I'll go into an Echo Boy and I'll go through presets and I'll sit there for 30 minutes. I'll just resample a bunch of stuff and as crazy as I can get it, or Volcano and Fab
Oh, okay.
Filter.
Volcano's a good idea.
And then you get like these crazy sounds you would never think to make because you're just going through presets.
Right.
And you're just resampling the entire stack. And then you go back and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so I put the reverb before the OTT, obviously. And yeah, I crank it to 100%. And I throw this thing at like probably here. Sometimes I take the high cut off. Sometimes I'll throw an EQ on there, but uh-oh, wrong one. Let me turn this one off.
Beautiful. There's that tail right there.
And then I'll just freeze and flatten. And we basically just did the same thing. I'm sure I did the same thing here. And then through here, I just press R. Usually my R's record actually, but
Yeah, same, dude.
My
It's
R
kind of
got
a pain.
changed. It doesn't work for me anymore.
let's do it like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'll turn this one off. And we should be good to go. Turn this one off. Sorry.
Oh, beautiful. So simple.
It's so simple, but it sounds so good in the
Yeah,
mix.
it's
And
so clean.
you don't even hear it too. It's just in the background. Makes such a difference, and I do it for every vocal all the time. I think here too, like the chords are starting to be introduced. Different pattern than the drop, but it's similar. Some echo and stuff.
Yeah, what's happening there? It's like, is the echo pitching or something? Are you doing
It's just a
automation on it?
delay here. That's it. Oh, yeah, no, I don't think so.
What's making it sound metal? Oh, it's
the
vocoder.
vocoder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I have like a string that I made, and I did the same thing. I just in audio pitched it up, just like a house string.
Great little riser trick right there. So
Mhm.
simple.
A big thing that I think everybody does is for the drops, I utility gain it down. This thing I go like -2 dBs.
Oh, so you start bringing it down at the end of the
Nice.
build.
Very end every single time.
Let it be a little bit more
Yeah.
loud when the drop comes in.
Looks like I have no endless smile here. Sometimes use endless smile on the drums and stuff, but I've been liking the easy bass washout clef.
Yeah,
Easy-
yeah.
easy
Oh,
clef.
really?
Classic.
I think it's because I was watching a Chris Lake stream and he was using that a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I went back to it and it does sound really good.
There's a nice texture to it for sure.
There's one thing that I don't like about it that I've tried to fix is that it gets so much louder as you turn it up. And so if you're doing it
I
at the end of-
manually I'll put a
Yeah, so you're
utility
putting-
on it,
yeah.
and I'll just gain,
I want to fix the
right it.
rack so that when you I want to go in there and be like, okay, let me add like a utility in there. So like I match the volume perfectly, and I've tried to do it once before, but I just like kind of failed, so I gave up. But that's the only thing I don't like about it. But it's great because it's all Ableton stock too.
I would say like a lot of my production's more in just the details of what I do have in there instead of like you were saying processing. Like for example, the kick, I'm going through and manually moving every single one off the grid. So in the beginning, so
Your
like
kick is not.
It's a really nice swing,
you know,
dude.
I swing it really hard, and I got that mostly from listening to Sammy Vergie. He swings the shit out of his stuff before
I
the
love
drops.
Sammy Vergie.
It's unreal.
He's insane.
The more you
So in
swing
the
it, the better
build-
it feels. Yeah, all the time.
Interesting.
I
And then
s- I
is
swing
it
hard.
swung in the drop too, or just mainly in the builds?
Nope.
It's like kind
Kicks
of
on the one. Yep, every time.
That kick is a nice round soft. It sounds like it's just like a TR-808 kick or something, just like just
Something
super soft,
simple. Yeah.
undercooked. That's such a
I do a lot of kick reverses too.
yeah. Kick reverses are nice. If you're an EDM producer and you need some serious sounds, make sure you guys go to XLNTSOUND.com. They have everything you need from Serum presets, project files, remakes, and even free downloads for you guys. And check out all these different testimonials that all these heavy-hitting EDM producers are saying about XLNTSOUND.com.
And on top of that, use code TheExcellentShow at checkout to save 10% off your next purchase.
So I know you had to like kind of process these vocals a little bit differently because they were like a rip a cappella. But what is like a process that you do for your vocals normally? Like if you have an actual singer, like how are you processing them? Because your vocals come through really nicely. They sound like they're recorded like an actual like pop producer.
Usually what I'll do is the vocalists hate me because I make them sing, like we were talking about, I make them sing dry into the mic because I don't have the UAD plugins in the console.
Yeah.
And I don't want to monitor through Ableton. So they'll sing with just like how I'm talking now. And I actually love it because when I'm working people who can do that, then they're really strong.
Yeah, you got to be able, you got to be good to do
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shit.
you're a really
Can't
good
have
singer.
nothing on your voice. No
Yeah.
reverb, no nothing.
And then I'll go from there, and I take a lot of vocal takes, and I usually, it depends on how like stacked I want to be. For Weightless, for example, a song of mine, I think I had a main, a double, like 3 harmonies, the doubles of the harmonies, a whisper take, and everything. And if they start adding up, I go through and I melodize every single one, like start to finish, and then I'll go through and I'll manually time every single one. I'll do the first one, and I'll manually time every single one underneath to that one.
Oh, nice, dude.
And then that's before I even get into the processing of
Manually,
it.
you mean you're talking about moving it?
I am moving the
yeah, I do that shit
waveform
too.
like
oh my God.
a minute,
Yes.
and I'll sit there with the click on. And sometimes I do it with the click off, and I'm like, is this too timed? You know, you get in your own head. It's placebo big time. And then from there, once I have that done, I'll usually throw a compressor on there first, maybe like an EQ to cut it out. I do a lot of the UAD, like a tube amp or something like that, to give it some warmth.
Ooh,
like a
nice.
manly. I learned that from Twin Diplomacy. I like the
Yeah.
manly. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I usually put on. Sometimes like some saturation. Nothing crazy though, because if you're coming in dry through the signal and you're sounding good, you don't need much. You just a
Totally.
few things. Like I wish I had the U87 still, because that mic sounds really good, but it got stolen. And so I'd use like a warm $300 mic. It's nothing crazy. And if the vocal sounds good, it's gonna sound good. I wish I could pull up a project that's not this, and this is just something I wanted to do because we were doing the SoundCloud thing, and it's one of the most
Let's pop up
recent
another
thing.
project too. We'll do one more and then we'll.
Oh boy.
All right, so we got a fresh ID here.
Yeah.
Does Mr. Summit have this?
Nobody has this. All the synths are her vocals. Yeah.
Oh.
Massive harmony stacks. Massive. This is with Arlo.
Oh, I love that.
Arlo loves doing this, and I bought into it for the first time with him, and we just went crazy. The drop synths are her vocals. When you hear them, you'll hear them.
Ooh, that bass line.
Oh, I love that.
That summer goes, woo, it's so hard.
Great chops.
I'll skip forward a little bit. Oh, there's the ARP bass. That's where it feels like in the full context, where it's not kick-started, where it's not ducking too hard, but it just feels like really groovy.
Oh, vocals are so good.
Thank you.
If I was sober, I'd need you, and take every bullet to break through. Feel it in my life, feel it in my life, feel it in my life, feel it in my life. If I was sober, I'd need you, and take
There's some backgrounds here, and it's bending right and left.
Great choice
Panning.
of reverb, too.
Pro R.
Love it.
Yeah. Shaker's really driving here.
Yeah.
And they have these off hats here. There's the pitching ride.
Oh,
This part is swung so hard if you like look at all the snare.
fake out? Give it to me.
Oh, yeah.
This is like a production, like
Yeah.
artist statement. Like as a
Yeah,
producer, you
dude.
listen to it,
You're
like,
flexing, bro.
Yeah,
This is sweaty as fuck, bro. I was
one's-
just about to say, I don't think I would have the patience to make this kind of track, bro. That takes a commitment. Of
this
like,
took so long. Like each one of these. Those are all her vocals, and we had her sing out every single one of the notes and the chords individually. So we do like, ooh.
So you could do triads
and we do
shit?
no. She sing it each. So like everything's in audio. So all the chord is her vocal now in audio. And then we go through and we cut each part of the vocal up as chops.
Oh my
So
god.
And so
sick,
each one of those
dude.
synths are her vocals. And then same with like for example, in this breakdown section, where are we here? Let me find the stacks here. Here. No. Where is it? Background vocal group. This is after it's been. Nope. Vocal stack group. Here we go. This is after it's been processed and everything. There's my vocal on the bottom.
I love that.
And there's another one here. That one's for the break. This one. This one. It has this goes to the major chord.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
The borrowed
I
chord.
love that, dude.
Is that a borrowed chord, Kian?
Yeah,
Yes, I
something like
fucking knew
that.
it.
Even the harmonies are pitching to it. And everything's processed like to an insane degree in this song.
So wait, are you telling me so back to the thing? So you had to record each note of a chord, right? And then once you had each three of those,
And we worked in audio the rest of the time.
then you took those three and then made them into an actual chord and had that one shot sample, or did you take each three of those notes?
So, for example, let's say it was a C major chord. We would have her do this each one of the
Right.
three notes, and then I'd have her do a double of each one. And
Okay.
so, but it was like a 13 extension chord
Yeah.
or something. Like there's like 13 notes, a massive one. And so each one follows the whole progression. And so I take every single one of those, then I process those as a group. We melodyne every single one individually.
God, dude.
And then you go through, after everything's timed and melodyned, then you go through and process it. And that's all just for one stack.
Damn.
And
That's
you do
really
that, you do
sick,
that for
dude.
each chord. You can do that for each part of the chord progression in different parts. And then I used those with Arlo, and we went through and chopped it for every single drop. So,
On top of like having to make this like basically a new instrument like from scratch from a voice, you then have to make it cool like in
Yeah.
the actual like song. And also like it's not just like the technical part of just like making it like all that shit is very like difficult and time consuming, but you also like made it super groovy and techy in the drop.
oh
Like,
yeah,
the actual
big
part
bass,
is,
full bass.
That's crazy. I'm super impressed, man. That's super sick. Great
These
sound
are some
design.
of like the sound. These are during the builds. If you want to go into automation on this project, it's so scary too. There's so much automation going on for everything.
Dude, I see that you're a big send guy, which I
Oh.
You a
love.
sender or what, bro?
I love that.
Or is that an
because
Arlo
that's what
thing?
I do.
No, I do it a lot.
You're a
Yeah,
sender. Full sender.
Yeah, full sender, dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
It helps a lot. You do it for big groups and stuff, because then everything starts having the same feel to it, you know?
Yeah.
That's so impressive too that you guys were committed to like when you have like a cool idea like that and then actually committing to doing it and then doing it 110%, like the melodyning of every little thing, allowing yourself to kind of go into those obsessive
We
modes.
call it the video game.
That's the video
It's
game.
like, oh, I get to be in the video game right now.
Nice.
So as long as you like think it's fun, right?
Yeah, you just go to work,
You
dude.
go to
It's so
work.
sick.
Yeah.
Dude, this is so
This is
sick, bro.
almost all audio, though. You want to talk about like lack of VST? I'd say the chords in here. What do we got going here? A lot of things that are in the background is like this adds a lot of tension where it's, and then it starts building. Oh, if I start it here, then it's, and then it sustains here, and everything sustains there in the build. And when you that's a big producer trick. You got to hold out the one chord
Yeah.
or the three, whatever you're ending on, until it resolves back. Actually, the chords are playing here. I lied, but that is
That
sustaining.
is holding out, yeah.
But the vocal chops this are just crazy.
I see Kian's fucking with it, bro. You got him moving. That's hard, bro.
Oh, that's my favorite fill of all time right here. This little sub drop.
Oh, dude, it's a whipper.
So hard.
It is a whipper.
Very
I literally
impressive,
just,
bro.
the way I did that is just I go in sometimes in Contact and I'll go into a sub. I'll just drag out one note. I'll put it to audio and I'll go back into the transposition and just swing it. Like that's how
Yeah.
I do a lot of stuff like that. You don't have to go into CRM and make it a process of I got to pitch bend this up. Just get the one note you want and then get creative with it.
It also adds really nice texture to it too, instead of like making it clean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
Something I wanted to bring up too, which I think is really interesting in this song, is your use of reverb. A lot, like the rule used to be like use one kind of reverb, like don't use short reverbs with long reverbs, or always stay on one medium reverb.
Oh, I
but,
never do that.
Yeah, you have really special areas for like room reverbs and then really long hauls, and it like really creates these cool moments.
Yeah, I especially like sometimes I like doing in the backgrounds. I'll do more of a room reverb, and they sound, I don't know, they're not like too washed out. Like
Yeah.
as far.
Sober, I need you.
Oh, that's just delays. I always do delays. I duplicate the part of the vocal I want to delay, and I'll put the vocal. You could do it on the track, I think, maybe. I don't know. I just put it to 100% mix, and I just do that.
oh, okay.
throughout
Yeah.
each
So
one.
that's
like
your
that.
delay track.
That's my delay track. I
Yep.
go through here, and I put it to, this is on half notes. I put 100% wet, so when the actual vocal plays, it doesn't play.
Right.
So it's like right when it's done, and it sounds so good in the. This the double. Here's the lead.
Feel it in my life, feel it in my life.
Here's the processing on this one. See, I just kind of, when I was processing these, we just kind of winged it, man. We were like, what does it need? We were just going through UAD sounds and just clicking through presets, and sometimes gem dopamine. Like,
Yeah,
I'm never
dude.
like, oh, like this is how I process my vocals. I'm like, all right, well, let's have some fun here and see what sounds good.
That's a
And
little.
shit.
That's a little nug you
Yeah.
just dropped there. A
It's
little
all
gem dopamine,
you gotta do it by.
dude.
Oh, gem dopamine's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like a fresh air, but better than fresh air.
Yeah, it's more tasty.
I saw when we were recording vocals for Down Low, Griffin, the guy who was just tracking them. Thank God, I just was able to be like in the room. I didn't have to track the vocals, which is the best thing ever.
is.
And he is a machine because he does it all the time. And that's where I learned about gem dopamine.
Oh, that's
He
cool.
put me on. Yeah. I'm always, you gotta give your flowers to who's
Yeah.
doing.
Oh, for sure,
giving you
dude.
what, right?
Take the tools and turn them into something special.
The BROSTEP world has fallen into chaos. There is only one redeemer, Excellent Sound. The best BROSTEP pack in the industry. Hard-hitting drums. Abusive basses. 50 bonus serum presets. Are you sold yet? Grab your parents' credit cards and buy 5,000 copies of BROSTEP Volume 1. What are you doing, Step BROSTEP? Cancel your Splice subscription. Buy BROSTEP Volume 1 today.
Check this out. This is a MIDI sidechain trigger project because Arlo loves to do it. And so that's when this was the second project we ever worked on together. And so we started off doing a MIDI sidechain trigger. So you go into Shaperbox, you create it, right? You set it to MIDI and you put it on, I think it's supposed to be 1/4, but that's weird that it's
Set
like
to
that.
bar.
It's supposed to be 1/4, but whatever. So then you go into here. Here's your Ghost sidechain trigger. This is on every single track. You create your in track. This is sending to the drop fill group, which is where the thing is on. So that's how you do it. And the in is coming from here. See the Ghost sidechain trigger. The ins on Ghost sidechain trigger, and then the outs on the. That's how that was running on every single time in every single group. So each one that you're wanting to sidechain has its own shaper box on there.
It's so funny how many different ways there are to sidechain. Like this is like another way that you can do it, and they all have their different advantages and disadvantages to both.
Like this one was a processing machine. Like in terms of all every single vocal is processed
Oh my God,
differently.
yeah.
Like this is, what is this one? Excuse me. Like that shouldn't even sound good. Like that is just cranked. Like
dude,
through,
it is
through.
cranked.
It works.
I want to see what that sounds like in the mix. But
Nice
you hear
panning,
that, that's from the harmony stack, and we just pitch bending that.
Yeah.
Oh, little nugget knowledge. So sometimes the best thing you could do is Arlo is made me go from MIDI to audio all the time, and something that he taught me is when your kick's hitting, what we'll do on the bass is you freeze and flatten your bass to audio, and where your kick's hitting, you manually fade it on every single hit.
Every single one.
Every single one.
I heard that Joyride did that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard that he was like nuts like that. You just go through
every single one.
It's a very old school trick, you know?
And it sounds great.
All of the old
creates a lot of space.
Because all of the old producers never had these sidechain plugins. They had to do it manually. You know what I'm saying?
And the compressor just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it just wouldn't do it to make it sound right.
Wait, are you saying you're doing that on top of sidechaining it, or
yes,
you just
on top of the sidechaining?
Oh, so it's a double hard sidechain.
Yeah.
Did you guys do that in this track?
Yeah, we did.
You're you went so sweaty, bro. This is the sweatiest track I've ever seen, bro.
Here's the bass groove. I wonder if this has a little auto pan going.
Yeah,
but like I do, even my bass is gliding, so it'll be like, if I do legato, you put the serum in a legato and you overspend the notes, it glides to the next one. It helps a lot. It's just like small little things. I want to put the kick on here and the drums. See how swung that is?
Oh, yeah.
And this is going to be swung too.
Oh, it's clean, dude.
How dirty that clap is. So undercooked. Just.
Where are the rest of the drums?
Who cares, bro? This is sick, man. Oh, there she is.
There's the ride pitching. You can listen to this.
What do you have on top there? Is there like a very
ride.
high note? That's your ride that I'm hearing?
Yeah.
That's the ride. Oh my God. So it's doing like an atmospheric thing. I didn't even realize that.
That's why I use it for. It fills up a lot of space.
And you're going back.
Oh. You might be listening to, I put an atmosphere thing in right here. This is what you're probably hearing.
No.
No, it was the ride.
Okay,
it was the ride. Yeah.
It's like super. Oh,
it's very
you're
musical.
Healing the tail end of the. Ah, dude, that's so cool.
It's very musical, dude.
That's your thing, bro.
Like, I think this was me throwing Echo Boy out of something, and then I resampled it. So it's just random. I was messing with the drums, and just like.
Just cool sound.
Yeah.
It makes sense why this is one of your favorite, man. You should be very proud of this for sure.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is awesome,
great work, dude.
What even is this?
I like how you have your
there we
extended mix and your regular mix in the same project too.
Yeah, I do it every time.
You just put markers. It's like, why change it?
A
Like,
lot of
why
times-
make it different?
A lot of times I'll like start with an extended mix.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Just to get the vibe. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Because then your
dude.
drum groove is cooking.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know. Especially once you get so for example, when I write chords and I write vocals, okay, I have like a song I want to do, then I'll start my extended mix. And then I'll bring in some of those chords, and then I'll start like vibing over the chords. It's almost like you're working in session view a little bit. You're figuring out what elements you're wanting to go where, and you do your bass here, and I'm using my extended mix as like a palette for me just to try a bunch of random stuff.
That's a good idea.
That's very cool.
Because you don't
Give
need
yourself
any
extra
of that.
space,
You
yeah.
just Command I 16 bars in between the start and the extended mix, and then you're basically having your own little project here.
And that might lead to a whole new part here for the full
100%.
song. It's like, oh my God, this is actually should go in the original.
I would say one other big nugget of knowledge that I use in almost all my songs is I use the granular in Ableton
mode.
stock.
Oh,
The granulator 2.
Oh, the
I use it in
granulator.
everything.
Oh,
I
that's
use it for
awesome.
vocals. I use it for builds. I use
Can
it
you
for
show us one of
effects.
them,
show us
dude?
that.
Because I love using the granulator.
Okay, let's see.
You never use it, dude.
Granulator 2 is so much better, too.
See if I can find something that says granulate.
There's certain things that I'm just like so sweaty on in Ableton and production. There's other things that I'm just like so fucking lazy. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that.
I'm just gonna do one real quick because I don't know off the top of my head.
do one. Just drag one in.
I'm just gonna go up to the vocals. Here we go. I'll drag it into here, and I'll just go into resample mode. I'll drag on a C note. Oh, hello, I'm lagging. Here we go. And then I'll basically set up this to send to a track that's resampling, right?
Yeah.
So if I just do this, I'll just loop this and turn the soloed. Okay. Hello. Why are we not getting anything? Oh, because I don't have anything here. Okay, another little trick. Sometimes you have to just like Command J, like a little piece of it, right? Otherwise, you have the full vocal in there, and it's too much. you want to be able to get gritty with it. So now we're here. I gotta pitch it down. And then I'll like resample sometimes. I know Chris Lake has done this as literally in drops on his songs. And he starts going in the build.
Okay.
And he uses that for the build. Like, what's that song where it's like, it's
Swedish House Mafia 1?
no,
They
it's
do
a
the
Chris
kick.
Lake song. It's a remix,
Oh.
and that's literally the drop sound is him granulating something to the top. Like High and I Like It. It goes like fly.
Yeah.
That was
I like
from
that
me
one.
manually moving this granulator like this through the vocal and resampling it through while I was doing it.
So you're just having fun, just
I'm
finding
just-
cool parts,
yeah.
and then you're just like, okay, let's use this.
Through my system, LFO was me just resampling me and Serum on a chord, and then we got that idea, and then we fleshed it out to a more perfect version of that LFO. But
It's such a fun like way to like expand your creativity. You know
and
what
catch
I'm
a
saying?
vibe immediately.
Yes.
You're there and
yes.
you're like, wow, this sounds really good. You have
Yeah.
a chord and an ARP both being resampled into one. Sometimes I'll do an ARP and I'll mess around with it. It's just, that's how I like to work. And that's why sometimes my stuff ends up being a lot more melodic, because when you're working during the day, sometimes it's like beautiful out in LA and it's blue skies and this song feels like it fits in there, you know?
Yeah, dude.
And so it's hard sometimes like during the day to be like, all right, let's make like a warehouse rave song,
Yeah.
you know? Sometimes I do. And sometimes I'm in that mode. But a lot of the times that's why I end up finding this through line of between the tech, because I still want it dancey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for showing us all
I
this,
hope
dude.
I hope people
Ye-
take something from this.
I'm sure they
Oh,
will, bro.
dude.
I'm taking shit from it for sure, dude.
Yeah, thank you for
Um,
sharing all of your music with us, man. This is like an unreleased banger, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, thank you.
You
I
know?
hope so. I
Yeah,
hope
hopefully
so.
it'll come out soon. I know you said you're just kind of vibing.
I got a
what
few
happens.
in the pipeline before this one, but
Yeah. Well, shout out to It's Murph, dude. Thank you so much for joining us, Garrett, dude. Full circle moment. We'll definitely have to have you back. Shout out SoundCloud for partnering with us. We'll see you guys in the next one. Again, you are watching Excellent Sound. My name's Danny Fryer. This is Parker Met. And Murph, thank you so much, brother.
thanks for having me, guys. Let's
Like the
go.
video, subscribe, comment. We're out.